I'll just go over the basic stack that we are going to be covering, and I think that should give. First of all, before we do that, on the same page, let me just go to LinkedIn, or I think I should share it on another screen because there is some stuff on LinkedIn. There are some people I stalk that I shouldn't be making public. Just give me a sec. I'll just show you how many jobs are there, and then for whatever we are doing right now. And why is it so underrated? Like, I don't get the point. Why are people not developing the way apps are developed like this? Like in general, like projects, I see a lot of Next.js project. I see a lot of people who code on Node.js and use Express. I get the point. There are jobs, but there is equal amount of people who are doing that. So the proportion to job versus the people who are doing it, your competition is already there, right? Instead, let me show you this. Where is my Google Meet? Yep, there we go. Come here, back to tab. Let me share something else, present something else. Let me show you the screen. I'll make it fast. Don't worry. It's a pun actually, but yes. Um, there we go. Oh, I should have just clicked share this tab instead. Anyways, so as you can see, I've just written Fast API. Fast API is what we're going to be using in this bootcamp cohort, whatever you want to call it, to build our backend. It is very easy. It is one of the easiest thing you will ever learn. It is Python based. You know how easy Python is, right? So like, of course, it's easy. And just look at the amount of junior entry level, whatever you want to call it, jobs that is out there. Just look at this. Look at this number. And all of this is just like a regular intern job, right? Most of them are just intern or backend engineers. Most of them are like remote. It only makes sense to do it using Fast API or Django because the competition is very less. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It's easy. So you must be wondering why is the competition less? Because it's new. Fast API is newer than Django and React and all of that. So people adapt late. If you get an early move onto things, you will be able to make whatever you want to make as a project early. If you make good projects, you will get early user adoption. And all of these startups that I'm showing you right now, they value early. Like if you have created something, I already have told you this multiple times. If you have created something as a project that has actual real users, you are bound to get hired by people who are out there. They want people who have worked on something that actually solves a problem. And how do you do that? Quick, easy, without being intimidated by a bunch of technologies. You do it using. Let me just show you the roadmap. Using this roadmap that I created, conjured up today morning, and this is what we are going to be doing for the next 1 month. Also, if you do this, if you're good, I am already working on like 2 3 projects with multiple people. All of those I will be open sourcing, and if you want to contribute to open source, real projects that are out there that will be deployed open source, you can directly come to me. You can ask me, like, give me a stack, whatever you want to work. I'll give you a few options and we'll work on that first one. Okay? So I'll just go over the basics of what we are going to be covering. This is the overview of the stack that we'll be covering for the next. For backend, we will be, of course, doing Fast API. Fast API is a API framework that uses Python. It is very basic. I will tell you everything. I'll also tell you what API is in a minute. But this is what we are doing. Instead of Django, instead of Flask, instead of, let's say, Express.js, Node.js, we will be working with Fast API and Python because it's quick to learn. As the name suggests, it's fast. It's not as slow as Django. Django is pretty slow, but with more functionalities. Fast API has less functionalities because it's new, but it is fast as fuck. Then SQL Alchemy. I will teach you Postgres from scratch. So database and all of that. This is a full stack cohort thing, right? So I am making sure that everything will be covered. So I will teach you Postgres from scratch. If not, I will share resources if I think that is a faster way. And since a lot of people have their external exams right now, I'll take that into consideration. I'll go with the most optimal learning path here. So I'll teach you or share resources for Postgres. Alembic is basically for migration of data to your code and like all of that communication part. It just makes it very easy to monitor all of that. I will be covering Alembic. And Postman, how many of you have heard of Postman? Can you just raise your hands real quick? Um, For example, Divya from GDSE last year, he is the campus ambassador for Postman. Nice. So Postman is basically you can create test environments for your APIs, API calls, and all of that. And you can actually, sort of simulate real-time user data, how users will interact, how multiple users will interact with your API, how your API is, you know, like how challenging is it for your API to face all of that? How is it going to interact in real world scenario? That will be that simulation is done via Postman, right? Next, let me move on to, yep. For front end, of course, we're going to be using React, Tailwind, and Axios. So, abhi ke liye, we are skipping this part. First, because we can do all of this without this. We can create test environments, create functions, and run everything that is here and here without using this like for now. Then we are going to move to React and Tailwind for, of course, creating the front end. And then Axios. Axios is a tool that is used for API calls, for clear API calls. It is used to manage all of your API. What is API? What is API calls? I'll come to in 10 minutes. First, let me go through this. I will share this in the Discord that we are going to create. Malhar, मैं तेरे को भी admin बना दूंगा. Just create a Discord. ठीक है इसके बाद. If you're free. Or there will be a bunch of other admins, but yeah. Anyways, authentication. What is authentication? This is authentication. You see this over here, creating of accounts, login, password management, all of that. That is authentication. That will be, I'll also teach you that, included in the fast API thing. JWT token se karte hain. JWT is our JSON files. Okay. So we will do that. This is one of the most amazing things that you will get out of this course. However much I know about all of this, I will teach you 100% ऊपर से नीचे. ठीक है. Deployment, not a lot of people are able to do deployment. Even if they are able to deploy stuff online for other people to see, this part is like missed by a lot of them. I mean, I'm not competing with anyone because no one else is doing it right now in BIT. So like, I have no idea, like I have no clue why I'm justifying it, but still, like this is what you're gonna get. If you paid 50 rupees for anything, this is the 50 rupees you paid for to get in this cohort. So I'll teach you Docker, how to deploy stuff on Docker. If you don't have money, we'll move to Heroku. Fine. I'm assuming a lot of people are not willing to pay, you know, $1,000 for a particular project until it's making you money. So that only makes sense to deploy it on something that is free, right? So Docker. Uske baad, I'll also teach you very basic way of like enough for you to say something in an interview if you're interviewing for a particular startup or something. I'll teach you how to deploy stuff on cloud, Google Cloud, AWS, without sounding stupid. But cloud is a very big thing in itself, and like there are dedicated cloud engineers out there. So of course you cannot expect me like at best I'm an intern. Okay, so whatever, I'm just like 2 months. I have 2 months more experience than you. You can imagine that. So of course you cannot expect me to, you know, teach you everything about cloud, but whatever I know, how you deploy stuff, how you create servers on cloud using Ubuntu, how do you create machines, parallel processing, all of that. So I will teach you that. Python में the only issue is you cannot have parallel processing. That is why a lot of people use Go instead of Python. If we successfully complete this, at least 5 people are able to get their worth out of this thing. I'll definitely make a Golang wala entire thing, and how do you create APIs instead of Python using Golang, and how do you interact on cloud using Golang. That is very interesting. Golang is being used by like a lot of people. I think I've already recommended in a few sessions that you should learn Golang if you want to. But anyways, Go is a tool programming language created by Google, and like we'll get into that later. उसके बाद, of course, how do you deploy on Vercel? This is an alternative deployment environment where you don't have to deal with all of this. Railway is also there, Railway or Render, but we will prefer Heroku or Vercel. Heroku is cheaper than Vercel. You can still get something out of Vercel. Like there are free plans, student plans on Vercel as well. And this is very important. How do you do CI/CD? CI/CD stands for continuous integration and continuous deployment. So when you want to further iterate on your project, whatever you want to call it, and then deploy the changes that you have created in real time to all of these things. Um, how do you do that? How do you do that without breaking your code, without taking your website down? That is what CI/CD is. How to efficiently do that, at least on a fundamental level, so that you can build upon that knowledge later on. The whole idea of this entire thing that we are doing, I don't want to call it a code workshop, whatever, but whatever we are doing right now, the whole point of this is to teach you enough for you to go ahead and learn whatever you want to do in that field on yourself, right? So I'll teach you enough CI/CD for you to deploy stuff, deploy your own projects, deploy hackathon projects on Heroku, Vercel, whatever, and then you can go ahead and iterate on that. Why is this stack? Why is this stack? Why did I not choose Express.js or like Node.js stuff? Because fast API makes backend very quick to build. First of all, it's not just fast in the sense that it's faster than Django. A lot of people use Django because Django was easy and it comes in with a lot of built-in functions like authentication and all of that. But okay, I do look very dark, don't I? I just looked into the camera. Anyways, I'm back home. Cool. Anyways, so fast API also helps you build stuff very fast. So it's like very easy to understand. It is Python. Python is the most easy, like natural looking programming language out there. That is why we're using fast API so that you don't get overwhelmed. Also, I learned fast API as my first like web development framework, and I'm the most comfortable in it right now, probably ever, because it is one of the easiest thing to learn ever. Very beginner friendly. Then React and Tailwind, of course, you know what's the use of React and Tailwind to build all of this, whatever you're seeing. We'll come to this later on. So let me drag it down. Yeah, wait, what happened? Um, okay, my Notion is acting up. Yep, there we go. Uh, I'll teach you Postgres. Postgres is included in this. Good stuff. Like from starting to end, everything you need to know about Postgres, at least at this level, I'll teach you. Docker, how do you deploy stuff? All parts like document. Also, Fast API already like creates documentation for you, so you don't need to sit and type all of that. It creates a basic documentation of whatever you put. It reads it and it has an internal function that creates automatic documentation for you. So that is why we're using Fast API. Also, of course, I showed you right now there's a good market demand for all of these skills. So if you're able to do it, not only would you be able to go to hackathons, deploy your stuff, and be like, I'll tell you something in a hackathon, at max, 4 to 5 teams are able to create what they set out to create initially. This is the reality. Like at this point, I have participated in more than 5, 6 hackathons. I'm in the middle of a hackathon right now. Like it's an online thing, and I'm collaborating with a bunch of people. Um, but we like our submission date is 3rd of Feb. But the point is कि in a hackathon, only 3 to 4 teams are able to build anything end to end, let alone deploy it. If you're able to do all of this, good job. You will like you are definite if you build what you set out to build. Let's say it was just a basic chat app, but if you're able to build it into you create a front end, you create a back end, you create APIs to interact with the front end and back end, and everything is done. I will tell you, you're gonna end up in the top 5 teams ever. Like hackathons are the easiest things to make money. It's one of the easiest things to win because no one who sets out to do what they started out doing is able to do. At least 95% of the people. All you have to do is create it, let alone like being the best project or whatever. All you have to do is create it. Okay, it's as easy as that. So like, and apart from that, there is a good market. I already showed you how many jobs are there on LinkedIn. If like we filter out to recent jobs, out of those 2,000, at least like 400, 500 entry level intern jobs are there, like for all of these skills. Now imagine getting an internship in like your second year. That would give you confidence to, not second year, second sem, third sem. That would give you confidence, make you confident enough to at least apply for, at least think of applying for all these big tech companies off campus. So there's an additional thing that comes with it. Anyways, so learning path is going to be this. For पहले fast API and database पढ़ाऊंगा मैं. It will take us, if we go with the speed that like considering that you guys have exams and stuff, and if we slow our pace down a bit, a little slow, it will take us a week or two maximum. Then we'll move on to React front end. I was supposed to, but let's just cut it out. First, we'll do the exciting stuff, then we'll do the relatively boring stuff. I don't find front end that exciting, like compared to how networks work and how do you write algorithms and all of that. Uh, then we will move on to, like, let's skip the React entailment for now. Then it's week 5, integration and authentication. I will like teach you Axios, how to make API calls, how to do error handling, authentication with JWT, protected routes, how do you create API routes, all of that. User sessions that will be covered. Then lastly, deployment. Okay. How to do Docker files. Docker is pretty important. We should know Docker because all the startups right now they use Docker for deployment. It is the new cool thing out there. Apart, like, you don't need to get into Kubernetes and all of that right now. That is pretty, like, it is very advanced, at least sufficiently advanced DevOps stuff. No need to get into that. Like, you should, but maybe later on once you have certain development experience. फिर उसके बाद deployment process. This is like how do you do basic monitoring, CI/CD. CI/CD is going to be included in this continuous integration and continuous deployment. It will be integrated into this, and this is an alternative stack just in case everything feels daunting to you, but it should not. It should not. Also, for the time being, if you want, I can teach you Jinja 2. Jinja 2 is a React alternative for Python. But like, I don't think you should go with this because like it is see, I've already written over it. However, investing time in learning the main stack will provide better long-term benefits, more career opportunity. It's just, at least if we are doing something different from the mainstream, at least do the second best thing that's out there, right? If you want to be different, be, let's not be completely deranged, is what I mean. Anyways, so this is what we are going to be learning for the 1 month. Yes, it may seem daunting. It is not. 25 hours of learning, 25 to 30 hours of just, soaking in concept, and another similar amount of writing code, or maybe twice the amount of writing code. So let's say you learn for the next 30 months and then we run internal hackathons just like we did right now, and you create all of this. So it will take you around 25 to 30 days to learn all of this, and then another 25, 30, 40 days to get somewhat good at this. And then you can go ahead and create your own projects, like whatever you think is important. For example, I am working right now on a project that is like a security database management thing. वो राजश्री का idea था. There's another project that I'm going to be open sourcing soon. It is basically GitHub but for books. So there are authors that want others to contribute to their books, but they want to maintain the version, like everything that Git offers, but for books, blogs, all of that. So I'm creating that website. If you want to contribute, I will open it to contribution soon when we like at least write the basic backend of it. Now let me jump to quickly. Okay, yeah, we are under the time limit. Great. Now let me quickly jump to what APIs are. Okay, just to give you a basic sense, it's in the name. The main thing that we're going to be learning is fast API. This is what we are learning. Fast API. So I think I should, it is very standard for me to at least explain what APIs are, and it's good to have a general idea. So imagine you want to create an app, but let's say for now your app is a restaurant. Okay, I'll explain it to you with an example of a restaurant. Let's say I am a customer. I come to a restaurant and I want to order a salad. Let's say I want to order a Caesar salad with no onions. This is what I want to order. So what will be the first thing? I'll get to the front end of it, that is the building. I'll get inside it. I'll get seated. All of that is taken care of by the front end. Then I will ask the waiter to write down my order, and my order is a a Caesar salad with no onions. That is what I want. The waiter will systematically write it down, take it to the kitchen, go to the salad section to the salad chef, and the salad chef will make my salad. He will return it back to the waiter. The waiter will come and give me my salad, right? That is pretty standard. Everyone can relate to it. This waiter is our API. Boom. That's it. This waiter is our API. An API is a thing, imagine a waiter, that is used to interact between multiple people. Multiple, types of codes is what I want to imagine. Let's say I want to fetch something from another piece of code, I will use an API. I want to give some data to a particular piece of code, I will use an API, right? This is what an API is. API is a waiter that helps in managing the exchange of data and the most accurate and best way of exchanging data between multiple machines. Not humans, machines. Human machine interaction, front end. Front end to back end to another back end to a third back end, all of that processing, communication between machines, communication between code, API. Cool. यहाँ तक समझ आ गया? Let me just show you a very basic example that I cooked up. I'm not sharing my entire screen, right? So let me share my entire screen. Using something else. Where is that entire screen? There we go. Share. Lovely. I hope you can see this Virtual Studio code that I have. Just quickly do this if you can see my VS Code. Yeah, it is visible. Okay, I can see it. Let me do this. Great. So this is my VS Code, and this is a very basic API that I made using the restaurant example. Now this is some syntax that I will teach you later on. This is some syntax that we will teach you later on. This is some syntax that you don't need to care about right now. We will teach you later on. But this is my function called get menu. Now imagine I come to your restaurant. This is your restaurant. Okay? This app is your restaurant. I come to your restaurant. I ordered for the menu. Okay? I ask the waiter for the menu. So this is me app.get dash menu. This menu API is an API that I created for specifically asking the menu. And what will it do? It will run this function. I hope I hope just by the looking at the code, this very basic code. This is a function, by the way. In JavaScript, we use function then function name. In Python, we use for define or def function name brackets just like JavaScript, and then instead of using the curly braces, we use the colons. Okay, this is what we return, and this is something called a dictionary. So now there must be a lot of questions. There should be a lot of questions about how we are going to cover it, all of this, everything, because I don't expect everyone to know Python. So the breakdown of everything will be like this. We have a separate Python AIML team, whatever, okay, in the core thing. They will be sharing resources and taking doubt sessions, and if possible, they will be taking sessions, live sessions, just like I do. I don't expect everyone in the team to take sessions like this. So, like, they will be separately sharing resources, however it is convenient for them. You should make a habit of learning on your own, at least right now, up until now. I think we have taught you enough. You know how tech works, you have a very basic overview of how to learn things. We will be sharing you the relevant resources, and sometimes you will be expected to learn. Doubts, don't worry, we are here. That is what we are here for. Okay? So, Shantanu will be sharing you, Shantanu is one of our team members, he will be sharing you what a basic overview of Python and where to learn it. Okay? So Python will be shared to you once we like sort of decide on the date, and that is one of the key like reasons why I'm doing this session right now. I want to decide on the dates. I want to work around your schedule. So like we will discuss it later on. But for now, what I want you to like know is that there will be a separate person who will be teaching you Python. Then there is a separate person who will be teaching you Fast API. Me and Yash Dodwani, we both of us, we are going to take Fast API, like how it works, what is the syntax, how do you create APIs, all of that. Um, then I will be personally taking Postgres, Docker, deployment, all of it. Okay? And then I'm yet to talk with Aditya right now. So like he hasn't gotten back to me. So I like React ke liye either I will take or he will take later on at the end. But for now, this will be the flow. So don't worry, even if you don't know Python, even if you don't know how to run if, else, elif, all of that. For now, I just want to assure you that whatever you have learned in JavaScript, similar things will be translated to Python. थोड़ा बहुत change होगा, but that's not an issue. That is like very basic, minimal changes stuff. There will be a few data types that will be added. There is something called decorators that will be taught to you. Oops are almost similar in every single language. So like object-oriented programming, you do not have to, code and all of that later on. So it is good for you. Anyway, so all of this will be taught to you within a week. Then we will move on to the main, the roadmap that I taught. So basic Python, the roadmap, and then front end stuff, whatever is left. Everyone clear? Do you have any doubts? If you have, go ahead. You can ask it right now. Then we will decide on how much time we are going to give to this and what will be the timeline. Because roughly from an hour's perspective, I need around 30 hours of at least, like, considering everything, it should take only 20 hours. But I'm extending it for miscellaneous reasons. Sometimes I over explain some things that, like, I do, like, recognize it. Sometimes I over explain shit. So considering all of that, we are going to decide the timeline right now. Before that, if you have any doubts up until now, just throw it. You can open your mics or chat, whatever feels good to you. You can ask it, and don't be afraid to ask out, like, in front of people, because it has happened to me like almost every past few sessions that someone has either asked me out after the class on WhatsApp or like after the session, like when everyone leaves. It's okay, you know, you're not dumb if you're asking doubts. So just type it out in the chat. But now I want your input. Like, I know for a fact that you have exams 7th से लेके 24th तक is what I imagine. Malha told me right now. So 7 to 24th, that is roughly around 17, 18 days. I have given exams for semester personally, but I wouldn't recommend you follow what I did. I would recommend you follow what Rohan did. ठीक है? रोहन तेरा CGPA क्या था? 9 something, right?
तो भाई इस बार ना if I
इस
pass now it's good enough bro.
इस बार नहीं. A lot of these are first years. What
Yeah,
was
yeah.
your?
First year is not easy, bro. First year is easy, bro. Guys don't have to worry.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
chill,
Dude,
chill as
I
well.
literally studied for 4 hours before, and don't do this, but I studied for 4 hours before my physics exam. ठीक है? I'm not encouraging you to do this, but I want to let you know you will pass. Passing is not an issue. Getting above, like, my first year CGPA was something around 7.8, something around that. Right. So it is not that hard for you to get 7.5 plus. You should strive for at least 8.5 plus, but at the same time, don't overstress. Now, considering all of this, how much time can you give each week is what I want. Okay, raise your hands if you can give 0 hours at least. I don't want you to give 0 hours, but like every single week. Okay, we'll start with the upper limit. 10 hours a week. Raise your hands. मेरी आवाज आ रही है. Okay, 10 hours a week is a bit too much. 8 hours a week or नीचे. One hand. But you're a second year. Okay, ठीक है. Fine. So 8 hours के लिए we have 3 hands. Don't lower your hand. 6 hours a week. So that's around 40 minutes a day. A lot of people. Oh, a good number of people. Okay. 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 6 hours पे थे. 5. So that's less than 40 minutes a day. I had 13 people and now I have 11. They're ready to give 6 hours but not 5 hours. What the fuck? ठीक है. So roughly 5 to 6 hours is what I'm getting. Is the basic idea. Okay, you can lower your hands. 5 to 6 hours a day के around, if I have to plan, it will take me roughly around 25 days to teach you all of this miscellaneous 30 days. ठीक है, fine. Perfect. Great. So the sessions will be planned accordingly. Malhar, एक काम कर, just send me the your timetable, exam timetable. I will make sure that
Sure.
at least 2 days before it and 2 days, like, not the same day, and 2 days before it, you don't, like, have to, think about this. Except for like the case where it is a single credit subject. Single credit subjects, like, it doesn't matter. I'll tell you something. Kannada PDS. Like, this is very bad. You should not do this. But just by staying with people, I had enough understanding of words that is going to be asked over there that I was able to do all of it. You should not do this. But single credit subjects are shit. How many do you have, by the way, for semester? I don't remember. Two or three, right?
Three.
Three.
What are those? What are those? एक तो
English, Kannada, and IDT.
IDT English का.
oh my god. Bro, IDT is the stupidest shit ever. It is very basic. Just remember this MVP is minimum viable product. You're done. That's it. That's all they ask. That's all they ask. Minimum viable product and this lean manufacturing stuff. Just study that. You're done. Like at least 40. I got 40. Yeah, I got 40. Out of 50. So yeah. Uh, anyways, IDT is shit. English, we have been communicating. I hope you understand English, and if you do understand whatever I've been saying, you're already prepared for English. Kannada, I think majority of you can like very easily handle it because you are from Karnataka. If you're not, if you are like if you have Balake Kannada, pattern recognition. That's it. Pattern recognition. Reasoning. Basic reasoning. Try and talk to friends. That's it. Done. You're done. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't learn it later on when actual thing happened, like the actual language. Good thing. Even I'm trying to learn. Not enough good YouTube resources, but uh, for exam, pattern recognition. So single credit subjects are done. I will try to, you know, give less leeway to single credit subjects is what I'm trying to get to. And the three credit subjects, four credit subjects, we will have sufficient time to like not care about this before the exam. So don't worry. Huh. Any doubts? The session is over. Let me stop recording.